Well, I've never had this happen before. We didn't want this exact thing to happen, and it did anyway. It is what it is. Before we get into this trip video, I want to let you guys know that there are some things to know about Coyote Gulch before you decide to backpack it. First of all, there are no dogs allowed. You are also required to pack out everything, including human waste. So you are required to carry a wag bag of some sort on you. Also, permits are required. You can pick them up at the ranger station or at least some of the trailheads. We did pick ours up at the Hurricane Wash trailhead, and we did run into a ranger. So they are out there looking, and it's important that everyone stays safe and respects the area because it gets a lot of visitors. This is not a place to go for solitude, but it is still beautiful and I recommend it. Enjoy the video. We are at the Hurricane Wash trailhead after about 33 miles down Hole in the Rock Road. If you know the road, you know how bumpy and washboardy it gets. The last couple miles were pretty bad. But yeah, we are here. It's a beautiful morning. There are a lot less people here than I thought there would be. It is Memorial Day weekend, so fully expecting it to be a madhouse. Today we are going to hike about 6 to 8 miles in. Hopefully find a campsite with all the people here. But yeah, gonna enjoy some coffee and finish packing up, and then we are gonna be on our way. So we have been walking a little over 3 miles through Hurricane Wash, and it has been a lot more beautiful than I expected. There are so many flowers that are blooming, and we have now entered a really cool section where the walls are getting a little narrower and it's a little deeper. It's awesome. It's also perfect weather out here. It's about 60 degrees and sunny, and some clouds come by every once in a while. I'm pretty happy that it is like this right now, because otherwise this would be a very hot hike. It has now gotten pretty brushy, and we have found our first signs of water. It kind of reminds me of Death Hollow, but so far I've not seen any poison ivy, so that's a good sign. That's a big jump for my little legs. So we've gone a little over 5 miles now, and we've only seen 2 parties. And then we saw this big wall behind us, and then we heard some voices, and we were like, oh, there's another group of people. Well, it turns out it was our own voices bouncing against the wall. Pretty crazy echo. Hello, it's me. We've reached the end of Hurricane Wash, where it goes into Coyote Gulch, and we are going to begin hiking down towards the Escalante River from here. We might go a little bit further than we planned today, or we might have a whole day of hanging out because it is not even noon and we have a whole day ahead of us, but we've kind of almost already gone as far as we wanted to for the day, so we're gonna see what happens. Lots of water. Glad we got our water shoes on. Made it to Jacob Hamlin Arch, which is pretty beautiful. Surprisingly, we only saw one group setting up camp right there, but it is Friday after all, so I'm sure it'll be a zoo tomorrow. We are going to continue on from here because we think that if we stay and camp around here, we will have a lot of neighbors. So we're going to try to avoid that and continue on. We ran into a ranger who checked our permit and checked that we had wag bags and that we didn't have a dog. And so we were all good. So we continued on from there and we found a pretty nice little campsite, high ground, lots of space, definitely flat. And we've been debating whether we're gonna camp here and day hike tomorrow and come back and camp further along, or if we were just going to go all the way to the confluence of the Escalante and camp somewhere further down. But I think we might end up staying here. I'm having some pain with my IT band, which is kind of disappointing, but it is what it is. Good thing I brought naproxen. It's a great weekend to do this.
Bigger packs.
Yeah.
Much more typical. Feel how heavy this is compared to yours.
Yeah. So after a quick rest, we decided that we are actually gonna keep going. I'm gonna take some naproxen and suck it up. We have 6.5 more hours of daylight left, so even though we've gone 8 or 9 miles, I think we should just continue on now that we have rested a little. Yeah. We'll see how far we get. I think we won't have a shortage of campsites, so we can stop whenever we want. This trip might end up being a 2-day trip instead of a 3-day trip, but we will see. Bunch of little tadpoles. We have ended up at this nice little spot where apparently there is a hidden black lagoon that we were going to check out, and we also sat here for a while and talked about what we wanted to do, and I think we're actually going to stop here and set up camp for the day. It is about 3:30, so we still have a lot of daylight left, but this is a nice spot, and we can go and hang out at the Black Lagoon and call it a night and see how we feel tomorrow. Today was a lot of walking in water, but there wasn't any elevation change really, even though I had IT band issues. Still pretty much just walking. Very beautiful. We have seen a lot more people since I last mentioned how many people we've seen, but it really isn't as bad as I expected. I expected it to be a lot worse, so which is good. That's kind of always why you want to, be prepared and expect it to be crazy, and then when you get there, it might not be crazy, and then you'll be pleasantly surprised. All right, we're gonna set up the tent. Oh, yeah.
I forgot about that. How big is this thing? There's a 1 liter mark?
2 cups.
Actually, do you want to make these and I'll fill the water?
Sure. That'd be fantastic.
That's starting to bubble at the bottom, just so you know.
Hello. Today is day 2. I just made some coffee and the birds are talking like crazy. It's pretty cool. It wasn't very cold last night like I thought it was going to be. I actually got really sweaty, had to take my R1 off, had to keep my sleeping bag unzipped for the whole night. Yeah, today we are going to day hike to the confluence of the Escalante and come back, pack up all our stuff, and then see how far we get after that. Maybe we get out all the way today, but that would be a very long trip. But maybe we'll get pretty close to back to the car and have an easy day tomorrow. It's got food all stuck on it. I don't want my coffee to taste like bad dye. I want my coffee to taste like coffee. I see sun! This is by far my favorite part of the whole trip. So beautiful right here. It's a little chilly, it's still morning, but maybe on the way back we will take a dip. It's pretty cool in here. Desert oasis. So we reached the end of the trail and didn't completely go further because it started to get a little bit sketchy and I have shoes with absolutely no tread. It wasn't worth the risk for me. We weren't very far, but we're turning around and going back upstream to camp. It's so beautiful in here. Oh my God, it's awesome. And it's the perfect weekend to do this. Well, got back to camp and we were like, yeah, let's pack up and then get back going on our way. Well, I've never had this happen before, but apparently a squirrel got in. We had no food or anything that smelled in the tent. Squirrel couldn't have gotten anything because there was nothing in here. We took all of our trash on our day hike because we didn't want this exact thing to happen. And it did anyway. It is what it is. It kind of sucks, but we'll probably try to patch it up somehow. It's only my second season in this tent. I was hoping it would last me a little bit longer before something like this would have happened, but oh well. We are going to pack up now and we will get going on our way. We have gotten to Hurricane Wash and we decided that we think we're gonna go all the way to the truck. That will make it about an 18-mile day for us. So we are going to take a break because my feet are killing me a little bit. These water shoes have no cushion. The good news is we do get to switch back into our trail runners right now, so my feet will be very happy for that. I have some dry socks. So that'll be very nice. It smells like poop right now because we both used our poop bags and they kind of smell. What are you doing, little guy? Where are you going? Mr. Snake. He hasn't moved. There he goes. Go on your way. So we made it back to the truck, and I think those last 3 miles were like some of the longest 3 miles I've ever hiked. I think right now we're going to decide if we want to eat or not, feeling pretty nauseous, so, but we did it. Been wanting to do that for a while. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Starting to feel a little nauseous. I don't feel really great. I don't know if it's the smell of the poop coming off of our backpacks, or if it's just pulling an 18-mile day.